Here are the instructions regarding the group project. So you have been assigned to a group, and what you're going to do is you're going to go through and basically follow the instructions in this Appendix B, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make up a product, just totally, completely out of thin air. It can be, an incremental innovation. It could be something totally new, some really radical idea, but it has to be some sort of product. Maybe you're just going to, start a new line of sneakers, or maybe it's something that I can't even think of, okay? Then what you'll do is you're going to put together a consumer behavior paper that revolves around these 7 steps. This is called the consumer decision-making process, okay? And you can find this in the book, okay? So all you're going to do is you're going to just apply each of the 7 steps to your particular product in good detail, being creative in places, and making sure that you have a firm understanding of, what consumers might do to evaluate this product, use the product, select the product, and so on and so on, okay? So in the introduction, just give me an explanation of the product. What does it do? What is it for? Kind of what problem does it solve? Section 2, discuss the target market in pretty good detail. Who is it? Men, women? Is it rich? Is it poor? Is it students? Is it old people? And give some argument for why that is the target market, okay? Need recognition, okay? In this section, you need to just basically discuss how does a consumer identify a need for a product in your products category, okay? So how does the consumer know that they need or want this particular type of product, okay? If we're talking about running shoes, what is the recognition of the need? Is it old shoes are getting worn out? Is it you desire to get off the couch and start running? There could be lots of different things. So talk about some different kind of areas of where this kind of comes from. Information search. What is the process that your target goes through in searching for product category information? So running shoes. What sort of process do people go through? You want to talk about both internal and external information search, okay? So internal information search has to do with your memory, but there's also an external search as well. You go shopping online or you go into stores, things like that, okay? Evaluation of alternatives. How does the target evaluate the different product options available to them, okay? Do they evaluate it based on price, based on quality, based on influencers? There's a million different ways you can go with that, okay? Purchase decision. How do your target consumers acquire your product? Do they buy it from you? Do they buy it from retailers? How does that work? How is a product consumed, and how is a product disposed of? So how is a product consumed? Seems like a weird question, but again, different consumers use products for different reasons, okay? Some consumers will use running shoes for running. Some will use them just for walking around. Some will use them just for everyday shoes. You've got some people that may work in a factory and they need comfortable light shoes. So there is that. How is a product disposed of? Believe it or not, this is a big area in consumer behavior now. Is the product recycled after used? Does it just disappear? Think about like a food product. You've got packaging that needs to be disposed of, but the actual product itself is consumed. Okay. And then finally, post-purchase evaluation. How does the consumer evaluate the decision that he or she made? Okay. What do? Do they tell others? Do they go online? Things like that. Okay, so there's really a big kind of research project on the actual target market themselves. Who are they? What do they do? How do they search for information? Where do they shop? Things like that. Okay, you need to apply course concepts in each of the sections 2 through 7, 5 concepts for each of those sections. Okay, straight from the book. Okay, all right. The paper is broken up into a couple different sections, components, to prevent you guys from procrastinating. So the first Friday in the course, the first section we'll call group paper number 1 is due. And all this is going to be your sections 1 and 2 above. So by the first Friday, you need to submit a paper that includes both the introduction section and the target market section. I will grade that, give feedback, kind of point you in the direction of things that need to be done to improve it, okay? And that's due the first Friday. The third Friday in the course, we have what we call group paper number 2. Group paper number 2 is going to be sections 3 and 4. So need recognition and the information search. So do that. Third Friday, that is due. Again, I will give you feedback and comments to get you, to help you improve the paper. And then ultimately, the last Friday in the course, the entire paper, sections 1 through 7 are due. So you'll take group paper number 1, improve it based on my comments. Group paper number 2, improve it based on my comments. Add to it, combine those, add to that sections 5 through 7, and that's your final paper. Okay, so again, you'll need to apply course concepts, at least 5 each in sections 2 through 7. Okay. So make sure when you write this that you clearly indicate where one section ends and the next section begins. Section headings is the obvious way to do that. You can put introduction in italics and bold, and then once you finish that section, go on to target market, put that in italics and bold. That makes it clear that you're changing ideas and moving from section to section. Okay. AP format in this final paper is not required. Don't worry about it. It is required in the current issues papers, but not in this one. Okay. The final paper should be, the 2 group papers should be at least 2 pages long each, double spaced, 12-point times New Roman font. Okay. The final paper should be at least 10 pages long. Okay, so the way that looks is 2 for this part, 2 for this part, and then another 6 for this part. Okay, and that's if you do just the minimum in each of group papers 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. Another thing that's due, just to kind of root out non-participating group members, is the days that group papers 1 and 2 are due, you must also individually submit a progress report. Okay, and all this is a way for me to see who's working well in the project and who is not. Okay, so basically all you'll do is you'll copy this. All you'll do is you'll copy this into a new Word document. I'm trying to highlight it, and it's not really doing it well. But anyways, you'll copy this into a Word document and put your name here and put all your other teammates here, and then give them a score of 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being great, on communication, meeting deadlines, demeanor, team player, initiative, and quality. Okay, and then once you've done all that, add those numbers together and put the number here. The max score is going to be 60. And then what I'll do is I will take every progress report that was done, and for each member of the group, I will create an average. What is their average rating from everyone else in the group? And most of you will get an average grade of 60. Okay, the maximum score is 60. Okay. However, for someone who doesn't participate or is just a really terrible, sorry to be frank, but a terrible group member, this score could be significantly less. Okay, so for anyone who gets an average rating from their teammates of less than 30, you will be kicked out of your group. Okay, if you are kicked out of your group, you will have to do this entire project on your own for a maximum 70% credit. Okay, it's a steep penalty. I understand that, but it hopefully will motivate you to be communicative and of high quality from day one. Okay, if you have to do it on your own, it's going to hurt a little bit, but I don't want those that have bad quality, those that are procrastinators, those that are causing problems, to drag down the rest of the group. Okay, so just be a good teammate from the beginning, own the project from the beginning, and there shouldn't be any problems. So you'll complete a progress report on the same day that group paper number 1 is due and the same day that group paper number 2 is due. So the first Friday and the third Friday. And again, if your average rating from your group members are less than 30, which is 30 is half, it's just basically half of the total points you could have gotten, you will be kicked out and you'll have to do the remainder of the project. You have to do your own project on your own from the beginning for 70% credit. Okay. All right, there's also a presentation due as part of this group project. So what you'll do is you will just record a video that just summarizes the project that you did. You will do it using PowerPoint. Okay, create a PowerPoint slide deck. You can record audio on top of that slide deck through a presentation, and then you can export it as a video file, and then you can upload it straight to YouTube. Okay, if you click on this link right here, it will take you to a video that shows you how to do all that. It's not hard at all. Okay, it is not required that everyone in the group speak, but if you want multiple people to speak, that's fine. Each one can create their own video slide deck, and someone else can kind of mesh them together. So it's not a big deal, okay? And then once the paper and presentation are completed and submitted by the final Friday in the course, then you have to do one final peer evaluation where whoever is left in your group, you need to evaluate them on how they did, okay? And this one is a little bit different. Basically, just give them a percentage score between 0 and 100%. If there were bad teammates, hopefully they were rooted out or weeded out early. And so I don't expect the evaluation scores here to be very low, but just give them a percentage score between 0 and 100%. You know, what percentage of the final grade do they deserve? Most people will get hundreds, but you never know. So evaluate yourself as well as everyone else in your group, okay? So that's all we have for this. If you have questions, just let me know. Thanks.